Top of the morning to you. Today I'm going to be preparing a beef brisket on the Weber Smoky Mountain. But before I get started with the beef brisket itself, I'm going to prepare a fairly simple rub to put on it. Not real fancy stuff, things that I would expect most people to have around the kitchen. I don't want a real exotic rub with, I don't know, lots and lots of items in it. So my rub is going to have just a few items, and I'm going to aim the camera down, show you the items, and I'm put this together. And after I get that done, then I'll get the brisket out of the refrigerator, give it a good rinse off in the sink, and cut some of the fat off it. The other thing is I've got about an 8.5 pound brisket, and I've agreed with my wife that what I'm going to do is give her about 1/3 of it to try making homemade corned beef, and then the 2/3 that I'm going to keep will get smoked on the Smoky Mountain. So that's the plan for the day. This will be my first time smoking a beef brisket, so this may turn out to be a disaster area. It may turn out to be fantastic. Okay, here's going to be our ingredients for the rub. Let's start with the salt. So the kosher salt. We'll do about 2 tablespoons. I'm measuring, but it doesn't really have to be exact. There's the salt, and I'm just going to guess at the pepper. But I want to be fairly liberal with it. Paprika. I'm going to use about 1/2 teaspoon. Rounded. Same with the cayenne. And then garlic powder we'll use about 1/2 teaspoon. I've got a 1/2 cup measure here. Then we'll go for about 1 tablespoon of the dried onion. Mix all that up together. That's going to be our rub. So here's the brisket. It's I went back and looked at the label. It's USDA choice, and it's 8.14 pounds. So what I'm going to do is guess at about where to cut it for doing the corned beef, and I'm thinking right about there. And this part that she's going to corn, I'm going to put into a food saver bag. I've probably got too big a bag here, but at least it'll be enough. Put this in here, put it back in the refrigerator, and in fact we can then actually use this bag to hold the corning with. Well, if you've been watching other YouTube videos of preparing a beef brisket, you've probably seen a lot of people trim them before. I'm going to leave this on, but I'll probably end up cutting out most of this or speeding it up so much you won't recognize it. Okay, there you can see I've trimmed off the fat, most of it. I've got a pretty big pile of fat here, and what's left is the piece of meat. So I'm just going to put this into an aluminum pan for a minute and begin to put some of the rub on it. I'm going to put more rub on the other side than the fat side, but I want some on this side. I also know there's folks out there who want to use a mustard or something to make it stick. The meat is wet enough if you pat it a few times. I think it sticks well enough. So I'm going to put the rest of it back on the fat side. Put a plastic cover on this, stick it in the fridge for a little while I get the fire going in the Smoky Mountain. There you go. There's my beef brisket. There's probably about a pound of fat. Well, here we are a couple hours since I put the beef brisket into the refrigerator. So it's a little after 10 in the morning right now, and I've got the charcoal chimney started. It's sitting in the grill, and if we move over that way, you can see the base of the Smoky Mountain unit. I'll zoom in just a little bit on that. I've got mostly the natural lump charcoal in there. There were a few briquettes left over from the last fire, so they're still in there. I've got a couple hunks of apple wood in there, and I had one slice of cherry wood left over from when I bought that farmer's market a couple weeks ago. So that's in there. And as soon as this chimney gets going really good, we'll put that on and be ready to go. Alright, it's time to move the fire from the grill down to nice. Very nice. I'm going to put the lower unit on. I've got an empty water pan in there and the lower grill rack. Okay, and I'm going to put about a gallon of water. Here we go. We'll put the lid on. I'm going to leave the top rack off for a minute because I'm going to put a little bit of oil on it before I put the meat on it. But we'll let that guy come up to temperature a little bit. I've got all three bottom vents wide open. Well, gang, here we are, about ready to start the meat on there. Set that aside. And get a pretty good look at that piece of beef brisket. I'm just going to set it on this rack, then open up. I'm going to put the aluminum pan underneath on the lower rack to catch drippings, and then put the top rack on. That looks good. Take it. Yeah, oh yeah. Very nice. put your head right over there for about 5 seconds and you get enough smoke to remind you why it's called a smoker. Well, here we are about 5:30 in the evening. The brisket smoked for, it was, I guess by the time that the smoker came up to temperature, it was about 10:45 this morning when I put it on. So it's had about, not quite, a little over 6 hours. And about an hour ago I wrapped it in aluminum foil and put it back on the heat again. And at that time the temperature of the meat was about 187. So I'm hoping that it comes up a little bit more and will turn out to be really good. Meanwhile, my wife is making some like hamburger buns that we can slice the meat up and have sandwiches with this. So I'm going to show you that. Just a second here. There, by the way, the dish towel is in our family tartan. So if you want to know who we are, all you have to do is recognize this tartan and you'll know. That was easy. Here you go, homemade hamburger buns. Figure they'll warm, or it's warm out here, they'll rise nicely out in the backyard. We're in the upper 80s today. And I'll take the meat off in a few minutes. And as soon as she puts these in the oven, I'll get the meat ready. Please ignore the sound of the air conditioner running behind us, but it's out near the patio, and oh well. So it's had about 45 minutes to an hour with the aluminum foil on it. Take it off. Nothing exciting to see here, but the moment of truth has arrived. Let's see how this looks. More importantly, let's see how it tastes. In my humble opinion, it looks pretty good. See if I can get it onto the cutting board. Okay, it looks like the grain was like that, so we'll take a chance and cut it like this. Does that look? Oh, to die for. This is delicious. Just a second. Have a taste. Good? Ooh, that bun is hot.
What do you think I'm doing with the mitts on?
I need a bread slicing knife, not this thing.
I know. I just wanted to show you here.
I gotta show the camera. Look at that, homemade buns. Using my mom's recipe. Tweaked, yeah. Oh. This meat is just fantastic. Just fantastic. There you go. Beef brisket smoked on the Weber Smoky Mountain. About 6.5, almost 7 hours. Some homemade hamburger buns. We'll have some baked beans to go with it. We're all set.